Sri Gurubhyo Namaga. Welcome to our online class, children. Today we are going to learn grammar and the topic is model. And what is a model? MODEL and what is model? MODAL. MODEL model is uh, a model. You can say that taking somebody as a role model or a model, uh, a person who acts as a model. And your model is a grammar, it is an helping verb and auxiliary verb which is used in the sentence. Modals are nothing but in grammar helping verbs. Helping verbs or auxiliary verbs are called as modals. So it is one of the kind in the auxiliaries and helping word. So we'll see what it is. Modals. Okay. Today we are going to see modals. 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 Okay. What is a modals and what is a modals? Modals is nothing but uh, helping verb or an auxiliary verb. We have auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are we called as be forms, as forms, do forms. Is, was, are, were, or be forms. Has forms or has, have, and add, and do forms or do, does, did. So we have four is, was, or, were, four be forms, three has forms, has, had, have, and three do forms, do, does, and did, and be and been, so being, so these all also is be forms. So we have nearly 23 auxiliaries. In that we can separate 9 modals, 4 semi-modals, and remaining is form, be forms, as forms, and do forms. So today we are going to concentrate on modals. What is modals? What is a modal? A modal is a type of auxiliary helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. What is a modal? A modal is a type of auxiliary or helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. Modal phrases or semi-modals are used to express the same things as the modals but are a combination of auxiliary verbs and the preposition too. I can sing. Bob can sing. I found out they can sing. Children, can you guess the model in the above sentence? See, can. Yes, right answer can. So I can sing here. Can is modal verb. Bob can sing here. Can is modal verb. I found out the can. So can is here again modal verb. And see the question also I've given in a modal word can. Can you guess the modal in the above sentence? It is clear, children, you understand? So okay, what are the models and how many models are there? And what? Okay, so we can go for modals, rules for modals. What is rules of modals? Modals are used to indicate likelihood, ability, advice, permission, habits, and obligation. So what is that? Modals are used to indicate, they are used to indicate likelihood, ability, advice, permission, habits, and obligation. Add not after the verb is used to make a verb negative. Modal verbs come before the subject in questions. So here in ordinary verb you will be having not before. So you'll be having a verb and add not after the verb. You'll be adding the verb after not is used to make a verb negative. Modal verbs come before the subject in questions. In questions, it will be coming in before. Modal verbs do not change form according to the tense. There is no s added to the verb. Modal verbs do not change form according to the tense. There is no s or added to the verb. Main verb means you'll be having in the present tense. You'll be adding the Third person singular when comes in present tense, you'll be adding yes or es. For example, Ram writes his homework. Lalita writes his eats breakfast. Like that, you'll be having with the verb yes, en, ed, like that. There will be changes. But in modal verbs, there won't be any changes at all. Infinitive verb without to or use right after the modal verbs. So infinitive verbs without to or used right after the modal verbs. Modal verbs will not take the to. So if you will be writing in infinities, to run, to eat, to write, to sleep, like that, you'll be writing in infinities. But that will not be there in the modal verbs. Children, it is clear to you the rules of modals. Modals used to indicate likelihood, ability, advice, permission, habits, and obligation. Then it will not add after, not after the verb. Cannot, will not, would not. So like that, you'll be having not after the verb. Is used to make a verb negative. So if you verb negative, if you want to make, you'll be adding not with the verb. So can means positive. Negative means cannot, will not, or won't. So like that you'll be having modal verbs come before the subject in question. So in modal, when you are raising a question, the modal verbs will be in the beginning. So that is before the subject. So that is the question type. And modal verbs do not change form according to the tense. So when tense is changed, main verbs will be changing, but this auxiliary helping verb, especially modal verbs, will not take any changes. This clear, children? Infinity is verb without to. So you'll be having to write, to sleep, to walk, to do. So you'll be having all verbs with infinities. But with modals, it is used right after the modal verbs. You will not. You'll be using, but you'll be using use right after the modal verbs, not before the verb. But in infinities, in the before verb, you'll be writing. Okay, it is very clear, children. We'll go. Okay, what are the types of modals? There are 9 types of modal verbs and 4 types of semi-modals. There are 9 types of modal verbs. You can easily keep in mind like this. Will, would, shall, should, may, might, can, could. Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must. So you can keep in mind very clearly. Will is present modal, would is past modal. Can is present modal, could is past modal. Shall is present modal and should is past modal. May is present modal and might is past modal. And must. So you can keep easily in your mind. Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must. Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, or models. So you make a song and you can keep in mind. Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, or modals. So you can keep in mind easily, children. It is very clear to you. Once again, you can sing. Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, would, or modals. Okay, it is clear, children. So you are know now 9 modals very easily. What are the 9 modals? Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, or modals. Okay, children, we go for the next. Okay, we are going for the usage. What is the usage? The modals can, could, or used to do things like talking about ability, asking permission, making questions, and so on. So can, could, or the modals. The modals can, could, can, could, or used to do things like talking about ability, using, asking permission, making questions, and so on. Example, modal can. So, for example, can. Ability, I can speak full language. So, I can speak 6 languages. So, I can speak full languages. So, that is an ability of a person. The same way in the past, could. He could play football when he was a kid. So, possibility, alcohol can cause cancer. So, that is possibility. And possibility, a lot of crime could be prevented. So a lot of crime could be prevented. So that is in past tense, the possibility. And permission, can I use your book please? Permission, could I take your book please? So in a polite, so here this is present and this is past. Here permission, it is an informal, it is in present, but it is an informal. If you're asking informal, can I use your book please? But if you're asking permission with the politeness, you'll be using could. Could I take your book, please? So the right way of asking polite permission, so that you can use could I take your book? Could you lend me a book? So like that you can ask children. It is very clear. You understand can and could. Okay, we go for the next. Yeah. May, might. May and might are modal verbs that can have a similar meaning. They can be used to describe two ideas, possibility in the past, present, or future, permission. May and might are modal verbs that can have a similar meaning. They can be used to describe two ideas, possibility in the past, present, or future, permission. So it's clear, children? Use of may and might. Okay, possibility. It might rain later, so take an umbrella. So possibility. So you're seeing the clouds and you're saying it might rain later. So it is not raining now. It may it might rain later. So it might rain later. So take an umbrella. So give permission. You may have another cookie if you like. You may have another cookie if you like. So you're having lot of cookie and you're given and you're asking. You may have another cookie if you like. Ask for permission. May I borrow your pen, please? May I come in and come inside? So that all permissions. Express wish. May the new year bring you happiness. Speculate. Speculate about past action. She is late. She may have missed her plane. She is late. She may have missed her plane. May or might. May and might can normally be interchanged without a significant difference in meaning. However, might often implies a smaller chance of something happening when expressing possibility. It may rain means 70% of chance is there to rain. It might rain means 40% of chance is there. So may takes significant difference meaning is it is implied for more, but might is implies a smaller chance. So might is smaller chance and greater chance for may. So here it may rain means 70% chance and it might rain means 40% chance. When expressing wishes or giving permission only may is used. When expressing wishes or giving permission only may is used. It is clear, children? When you're asking permission or wishing or giving permission, you'll be using you may go now. So you're giving permission. And wishes, may God bless you. May God shower his gentle rain on you. So these are all blessings. So wishes. So when expressing wishes or giving permission, only may is used. It is clear, children? You are understood the may and might usage. Shall we move to the next? Yeah, shall, should. The word shall is used to express ideas related to specific rules or laws. Be careful, not confuse it with must. The word shall also is used in the future tense to speak about something that will happen or exist. The word shall is used to express ideas related to specific rules or laws. And this shall is used the same way in the word shall is used to express ideas related to specific rules or laws. Be careful, not confuse it with must. So you must not confuse with shall and must. The word shall also is used in future tense to speak about something that will happen or exist. So the same shall is used in future tense for first person I and we, and the same the word shall is used to express ideas related to specific rules or laws. When you're talking about rules and laws, you'll be using shall, and you must not confuse with must. So must is another we'll see later. The verb should is used to indicate obligation. So the verb should is used to indicate obligation, duty, or correctness. So it indicates obligation, duty, or correctness. Often when criticizing someone's action, we can use it when expressing a personal opinion in plain language. In other words, we want to advise someone. So should is used mostly for advise someone, and obligation, duty, or correctness. And often when criticizing someone's action, when you're criticizing someone's action, you'll be using should. And we can use it when expressing a personal opinion. So when you're having personal opinion also you can use. And in other words, we want to advise someone. So shall we dance? Shall I go now? Shall we go to cinema tonight? Shall is used with first person pronouns I and we. Should I call a doctor? You should see the doctor. So should I call the doctor? Here you're asking him whether you can call, but you should see the doctor means, so it is an advice you're giving that it is necessary that you have to go for a doctor. So it is clear, children, you understand? Shall we go for the next? Okay. Will, would. We use will to express beliefs about the present or future. We use would as the past of will to describe past beliefs about the future. So when you have beliefs and express beliefs about the present or future, then you'll be using will. And the past tense, we use would as the past of the will to describe past beliefs about the future. It is clear, children? Modal, will and would. Will plus won't plus base form of the verb. John will pick you up at 7 a.m. Beth won't be happy with the results of the exam. John will pick up you at 7 a.m. So here will is used, and Beth won't be happy with the result of the exam. So polite request or a statement, will or would plus base form of the verb. Will you please take the trash out? Would you mind if I sat here? I would like to sign up for your workshop. So these are the words with will and would. Okay. The last one and the modals must. The modal verb must is used to express obligation and necessity. Obligation and necessity. Usage must. Expressing a necessity felt by the speaker in present or future. Expressing a necessity felt by the speaker. He is very ill. You must call a doctor now. So it is necessity. There is no other go. He got less mark. You must work hard to get good marks. So we must not lose the match tomorrow, or we will be out of the tournament. So it is necessary. He must win the match. They must not lose it. So we must not lose the match tomorrow, or we will not be not out of the tournament. This is the best book I have ever read. You must read too. This is the best book I have ever read. You must read too. You mustn't hesitate to call me if you need help. You mustn't hesitate. That means here it is necessary. You have to call me this order if you need help. So till this it is very clear, children. So you learned what? Can, could, shall, should, may, might, will, would, and must. So now the next one is semi-modals. What is semi-modals? What is semi-modals? A modal is an auxiliary helping word. Semi-modals also an helping word, but it plays double role, so it is called as semi-modals. A verb that functions to some extent like a modal verb, typically in the way it forms negative and interrogative construction. They are otherwise called as marginal or quasic modals. So semi-modals are otherwise known as marginal or quasic modals. They are used to, need, dare, or to. So you can, in short, you can keep in mind undo, undo. Used to, need, dare, or to. So used to you and need for n, dare for d, and ought to for o. It is clear, children? You can keep in mind. So easily you can keep in mind undo. So four things are there in semi-modals. What are they? Undo. What is this undo? U for used to, N for need, D for dare, and O for ought to. It is clear? What are the semi-modals? You can easily say used to, need, dare, ought to, undo. Undo, used to, need, dare, ought to. So it's clear to children? So you can say undo. Undo means used to, need, dare, ought to. In short, undo you can keep in mind. Okay, we'll go for the next. Okay. Dare. Dare means have the courage to do something and can behave either as a modal verb or as a main verb. So here dare means have a courage to do something and can behave either as a modal verb or as a main verb. So it has two parts. It can be either a main verb or a modal. So it is called a semi-modal. As a modal verb, dare is used in negative and interrogative sentence. It is followed by a bare infinitive. I daren't think how many victims there are. Okay. So it can be used as a bare infinitive. Infinitive without to. Used to describe an activity or a state that happened many times in the past. So something which happened in the past and now we are relating to it in a sentence, then you will be using the modal verb called used to. I used to enjoy gardening, but I don't have time to do. I used to play nicely when I'm young, but I couldn't do now. So it is clear, children. Used to and dare, you understood? Okay. We'll move for the next. Need. Need is a semi-modal verb because in some ways it is like a modal verb and in other ways like a main verb. We use need mostly in the negative form to indicate that there is no obligation or necessity to do something. You needn't take off your shoes. You needn't write today homework. You needn't see that program. So like that, when you just giving an obligations or necessity to do, then you'll be using need. Okay, what is ought to? Ought to express ideas such as duty, necessity, and moral obligation. It is not as forceful as must. So here, must is compulsory, next stronger is should, and next to that is ought to. Okay, so it is not forceful as must, but it is stronger than should. So the ought to place in between must and should. You will be getting a confused where to use must miss, where to use should miss, where to use ought to miss. You'll be getting a confusion. So here must is forceful. When something is forceful, you must learn, otherwise you'll fail. You must take up your exam, otherwise you'll sit in the same class. So that is must, very important one, and you have to do. But it is stronger stronger than should. So the ought to is less than must and stronger than should. Okay, it is clear. You ought to be punctual to school, otherwise you'll get a punishment or they leave. So you ought to be punctual. So must means you are so ill, you must see the doctor. That is compulsory, you have to do. And here it is the duty or rights of you is given, then you ought to be punctual. So it is some responsibility you have to do that. So the ought to place in between, it is less than must and stronger than should. So it is clear, children. You understood? Okay. Thank you. We'll see you in the next class. Bye.